Typically, this gym is a place of celebration. We come in here for rallies, dances, sporting events, and community gatherings. However, today is much different. Today, we are here to mourn the loss of friends and have a glimpse of the aftermath that drinking and driving can cause. I want to thank all of you in advance for your maturity, quiet reflection as you take this all in, and respectful behavior. I want to take a moment to thank our families and community for their support in this endeavor. Every 15 minutes, someone dies as a result of an alcohol-related accident. Every 15 minutes. That means that during the time of this assembly, 4 more lives will be taken. During your next class, 8 people, someone's best friend, someone's daughter or son, mother or father. The love of someone's life will be gone. Yesterday, the horrific scene of what happens every day was brought to our doorstep. Although the death you saw yesterday was not real, the emotions that you bared witness to were very real and very genuine. There is no second chance or do-overs when a life is lost. Life will never be the same. Drugs and alcohol have the potential of ruining lives, and they do daily. Today's memorial service is a reminder that one's poor decision can end lives, devastate families, and scar a community forever. Chances are that at some time of our lives we will be affected by this issue. Today, we honor both the students who we lost yesterday and honor the people that each of us know that have been affected by drunk driving. I know that many of you have painful personal experiences. Yesterday and this morning, I've heard multiple students and adults on this campus explain that yesterday's events stirred powerful emotions from their past. If you do not have a personal experience with drunk driving, I pray that you never will. Our main objective here today is not to make you sad or uncomfortable. Our main objective is to make you think. Here at Centennial, part of our mission is to challenge our students to be responsible citizens. Today, that goal seems more important than ever. We are coming to the time of year when there will be much to celebrate. Graduation, prom, college, and many increased freedoms that come with young adulthood. But with these increased freedoms comes an elevated duty to make choices that better your future and positively impact those around you. When you leave here today, I beg that you will pledge to do everything in your power to keep this pain away from your friends, your family, and your community. I hope that you will never drink and drive, high or intoxicated, and that you will never let a friend make a poor decision either. Ultimately, that choice is yours. But I challenge you all, students and adults, to be responsible citizens because the choices that you make will affect us all. Today, as we begin, it takes a community to put together an event like this. And we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge those that are here with us today. Let's start by welcoming Corona Norco Unified School District, and you can hold applause. Director of Ed Services, Dr. Sarah Ragusa. Coordinator, Counseling Services, Anita Shirley. Our representative from the California Highway Patrol, Officer Mumford. Our representative from Corona PD, Officer Cleary. We'd like to thank our local TIC and AMR for joining us today. Thomas Miller Mortuary for providing all of your help and support, and all of our friends, families, and students and staff that have helped to make this possible for you today. And now let's take a moment to recap yesterday's events. Please direct your attention to the video screens above. please take a moment of silent reflection as we invite back our living dead to join us for the rest of this ceremony. This time, I'd like to invite up our parent speakers. Last night, parents were brought together in fellowship to bond and really reflect on what if this was real. And I ask you out there to think about your decisions and think, what would your parents do had you made a decision that cost you your life or cost you the life of somebody else? These parents have the opportunity to share with you what their thoughts were. We start with the father of Karishma, Musafir.
Dear Karishma, as I roll back the memories I built up with you since the moment you came to life, those big beautiful eyes staring at me asking the question, where am I? Where are we going, Dad? To find the answers, we traveled the planet together. You dove in the Pacific the deepest you wanted to. You climbed the mountain that you wanted to climb. You felt elevation sickness. You felt sick, but you never stopped. You kept on going. You wanted to go more. You always pushed yourself. When high school itself is a challenge, for most, you sign up for IB. When a sport is a challenge for most, you sign up for 2. You have soared physically and metaphysically. There are no limits to where you can, what you can accomplish. Your work ethic and 14-hour days at school has taught me a thing or two. Each and every one of your accomplishments have made me so proud. Nothing brings me more joy than seeing you be able to find your way in darkness and fog and make it through any challenge. You're ready to take on the world and turn it on its head. That's where you're going. As I look back, I see each and every moment of your life filled with joy and happiness and accomplishment. A sense of accomplishment that brings the swag to whatever you do. Would anything else be able to ever fill the void your absence creates? Nothing except the memories we created together and as a family. Your brothers, Arsi, Zayan, and Zaman, your mom and I will miss you very dearly. But we take solace in the fact that we are blessed to have you in our lives. You are the most precious gift we ever received from God. Time spent with you has been the most fulfilling part of our lives. Your presence is the beacon that will always be lit in our memories, even in the darkest hours. You go, my little girl, you got places to go and things to see. Soar like an eagle, wherever you may be. I love you, we love you forever.
The father of Haley Myron.
Haley, if I only knew this morning that it'd be the last time that you walked out the door, I would have told you I love you. Something I should have said every day and didn't. I should have held you in my arms and hugged you goodbye, because now I will never get to again. I spent so much time in the past telling you what you did wrong and telling you what you needed to get done, instead of telling you of all the things I'm proud that you did. I will spend every day of the rest of my life thinking about everything I will miss out on without you in my life. I will also spend every day waiting for the moment I get to hold you in my arms again in heaven. Life is already too short. Now, not fair as well, as it took you away from all of us far too soon. No parent should ever have to bury a child. Baby girl, if you're listening to me now and looking down, please hear me when I say, I love you. I'm proud of who you were, and I will carry you in my heart every day until I see you again. Little Dad.
The mother of Thomas Kinsley.
Dear Thomas, I've lived so much. I've been saying these words to you throughout your entire life, but I often wonder if you know exactly how much they mean to me when I say them to you. Thomas, you were a leader of leaders. You were a peacemaker, as well as an inspiration to so many. Nipsey Hussle ain't got nothing on you, baby. You are a true champion. You embrace life to its fullest. You encouraged and motivated people to live their best lives in the best way they could that was insurmountable. Your winning attitude was infectious. When you saw someone without a smile, you gave them yours. Your kindness leaves a lasting stamp on so many hearts. The world would not be the same without you because you're the real MVP. Your humbleness is something people strive to achieve in a lifetime, but you embody it daily. I appreciate you so much. I also feel so blessed and honored to have had the opportunity to watch you grow and mature into a God-fearing young man. You are a designer's original. There'll never be another Thomas Chandler Kinsley.
I'd like to invite up our Living Dead student representative. And think, what would your parents say about you? Every day across America, parents are writing this, not for a simulation, but for real. We gave the students an opportunity last night to write, if this had really happened, what would be their final words that they would share with their families? And we are honored by the bravery of Oscar Corona for sharing his testimony with you today.
Dear Mama, Alex, Papa, and Andrea, I wish I could have told you that I love you guys with all my heart. You guys mean the absolute world to me. Thank you for making me the absolute happiest that I could ever be, and for always putting a big smile on my face. I always loved our family jokes, and I love listening to Andrea talk her gibberish and just laugh together. I wish we could laugh together one more time. I wish I could have given you guys all a proper goodbye and told you I love you one more time. Mom, you're the best mom ever. You always wanted me to do the right thing and be the best person that I could be. Thank you for everything that you did for me and all of the sacrifices you made to make me happy or just to see me smile. Alex, you were always so hard on me and I never understood why. As I matured, I realized that you always wanted what was best for me. Understanding more now, I'm really grateful to have you as an older brother. You were such a great role model and you always inspired me. Thank you for being the best older brother I could ever ask for. Papa, you're my best friend. I will miss you so much. We always had our laughs together and our fights that were always oblivious. The thought of not being able to see you anymore is unbearable. You had a great impact on me and you were my inspiration. You're the best dad I could ever ask for. Andrea, I wish I could have seen you grow up. I know that you will do great in life and be successful. You were only 2 years old when I died. I'm sorry if there's ever a time when I wasn't a good big brother. I regret those times ignoring you and not wanting to play with you. I will forever have you in my heart, and I'll be watching over you to see what a successful and beautiful human being that you become. You sit on this.
For some of us in this room, this is not just a simulation, but this is real life. Myself included, I was hit by a drunk driver. And I can't tell you the anxiety, the fear, and the helplessness that you have as you check the safety of everybody else in the car. Today we give you two perspectives, and we start with Dr. Kim Law, who's the Eastville STEM Director, to share with you her story.
Good afternoon, Centennial High School. So I've been involved in Every 15 Minutes for the past 15 years, and I have the honor of bringing to Eleanor Roosevelt High School for the first time in 2010. But I've been involved in the program because I have my personal story to tell. 15 years in the program, I've been involved, and to me, it is a very personal story, and I'd like to share that story with you today. So a little bit about myself. I am a Vietnamese boat refugee. I was born in Vietnam, and at the fall of Saigon in 1975, after the communists took over Saigon, my father quickly became a fisherman, and not to feed his family, but he realized that he couldn't live under the communistic regime, so he became a fisherman so he could build this boat so we can escape. So he helped build this boat, took him 2 years, and when I was 8 months old, my father took the risk, and he took his 4 children and his wife and 79 other people, and we shoved into this boat, and we were at 10 days at sea. And I was only 8 months old. So at 10 days at sea, we were fortunate enough to be picked up by a U.S. naval ship, and they took us to Malaysia, where I spent 3 months in a Malaysian refugee camp until a U.S. Catholic mission in Utah sponsored my family. So we came to America, and the first thing, we came to America with just $5 in our wallet. And my dad said, well, you know what, here's our new opportunity, new life. So he went to school, took an English class, and he went to vocational school and became an electrician. So here's me, picture me in 3rd grade, I think it was. And this is where I actually met my husband. I didn't date him in 3rd grade, let me tell you. When you grow up in an Asian family, you can't date until you're 40 years old. But I met him in 3rd grade, and we actually started dating in high school. And so after high school, I went on to college, he went on to college, he went into the culinary field, I went into biochemistry thinking I was going to go become a doctor. And I just realized it wasn't something that was for me, so I ended up in education, which was pretty much by accident. So my first year of teaching, after I finished my undergrad, I realized I didn't want to go to pre-medicine or go into medicine. So I was encouraged to, hey, right now they're always in need of math and science teachers, so you can get an emergency credential and go teach. So I ended up at a middle school in the hometown of El Monte, where I grew up, which is 20 miles east of LA. And so that first semester I taught middle school, and I hated it. It was a nightmare working with middle school students. So you can imagine the Friday before winter break, I was really excited to leave. In fact, I think I left before the bell rang and the kids were still in the class. So at that time, my husband was working at the Ritz-Carlton in Pasadena. He was in culinary, he was a chef there. And he said, hey, we're having a company party. Why don't you come out and meet me in Pasadena? So I drove from El Monte, Pasadena. We carpooled in to LA. We had, a wonderful party, and neither of us drank. So on the way home from Pasadena to El Monte, at the time, he was my fiance, wasn't my husband yet. He was following me home. And so all he can remember, he witnessed everything. He witnessed a drunk driver hit me and nearly take my life. And so what happened was we were traveling eastbound on the 210 freeway by Baldwin Avenue, which is the Santa Anita racetrack. And he said we were in the slow lane, And he said all of a sudden a car in the fast lane just started cutting over and to the point where it hit my car, it was perpendicular, so you can see right there at the driver door. And he thought, okay, well, you know what? She's gonna slow down. She's gonna brake it and everything will be okay. And he said instead, he saw my car speed up and I just went over the embankment, and next thing you know, he said, all he saw was my car flipping and doing cartwheels down the freeway embankment. So traffic stopped. It's pitch dark black. It's about 11:30 on a Friday night, 11:30 p.m. He ran up to my car and he said he could not see me because I was in a fetal position pretty much below my steering wheel. So here is where I'd like to read my letter. Had I died that night, this is a letter that I would have written. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the rest of my story, and this is a letter dated December 22nd, year 2000. Dear Mom and Dad, every 15 minutes, someone dies from an alcohol-related incident. Tonight, I died when a drunk driver hit me. I wanted to tell you I love you both, but I didn't make it home alive. I wanted to thank you for sacrificing your lives to provide for me and to raise me to be the person that I am. I am sorry I did not stick around long enough in life to take care of you both as you get older. Sorry, Dad, that you won't be able to walk me down the aisle at my wedding. Sorry, Mom, that I won't be able to learn your nurturing ways on how to raise a family. Sorry to my fiance that we could start a family. Sorry to my future baby son, Connor, who will never have the chance to be born into this world. This truck driver didn't just shatter my skull, he shattered my dreams, and he shattered all of yours. This letter, folks, was one I would have written in the afterlife had I died the night of December 22nd in 2000. You see, I was involved in an automobile collision that nearly ended my life and definitely changed it. I was young and I never thought life could end so soon. That one night in December, one man's bad decision to drink and drive changed my life. Not only did he turn my car upside down on the freeway, but he turned my life upside down. Luckily, our brain has its way of blocking out trauma. I don't remember anything from that night, nor do I remember much from the following months as I lay lifeless in the intensive care unit on life support and in a coma at Huntington Memorial Hospital. I never thought at the age of 23 I would have to learn how to walk again. I never thought I would have to learn how to use my hands again. I never thought I wouldn't be able to give myself a bath, make my own dinner, or go to the restroom without a catheter. I never thought I would be involved in an alcohol-related collision. After all, I don't drink. Although I see this part of my life as a blessing in disguise because I've learned to appreciate life and to never take it for granted, I hope none of you will ever have to go through this. So for that reason, I ask you all to think about the lives you will affect when you decide to drink and get behind the wheel. And if you say, well, I don't drink, so I don't have to worry, I ask that you do worry. Worry for that friend who does drink and who wants to get behind the wheel. As you leave here today, you prepare for prom and graduation, I ask that you reflect upon your accomplishments thus far in life and tell yourself, I have so much more to accomplish. This is only the beginning. I want to live life long enough to tell my story to my children and to my grandchildren. When you get home tonight, I want you to look in the eyes of your loved ones and tell them you love them, because drunk driving doesn't only affect teenagers, but it can take away the life of your family member, friends, and loved ones. And we know that, because just last week we did lose a CHP sergeant in Lake Elsinore off the 15 freeway from drunk driving. It wasn't fair for him to lose his life, it wasn't fair for his family, and it wasn't fair for his community. So I hope our stories today are enough to remind you to make the right decision when you get behind the wheel. If you decide to drink, don't drive. Call a friend, call a cab, call Uber. I'd rather you spend $25 to get home than to spend your whole life in a wheelchair or on life support or in a grave. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'd like to
Mr. Kunami Burns, somebody you all know very well. If you don't, Mr. Burns is a business teacher here at Centennial High School.
Again, thank you. I've been a teacher and coach for almost 14 years here at Centennial High School. I'd like to take this opportunity to share a personal story, one I wish I didn't have to tell, that involves grief, tragedy, shamefulness, embarrassment, and anger. This is my niece, Sierra Hakanani Burns, who is my older brother's daughter. As I was saying, my family's from a small town called Nanakuli, which is located on the west side of the island of Oahu. Makanani, as I would call her, is a young, vibrant, energetic, social, and loving 21-year-old woman. She had just recently moved out of her parents' home and was living on her own with a few roommates. Sierra had a full-time job working for an air cargo company, and in early February 2018, she was just hired by Hawaiian Airlines, where she had hoped to pursue a career as a flight attendant. On the night of February 19, 2018, Sierra's life, along with our entire family's lives, changed. This is her story. As she has done often in the past, Sierra attended a beach party with friends on that night. Like most parties, alcohol and marijuana was present. My niece Sierra got wasted that night. She got drunk and used marijuana. In fact, she was so drunk, she decided to climb into the back seat of her car and passed out. Apparently, this was a routine that Sierra had parties because she did not want to drive. She thought she would sleep it off in the back seat. According to Sierra, when she woke up and tried to drive her car, the car was not drivable. She thought she had a flat tire, so she called her father, my brother, to come and help her. When my brother got to Sierra's location, she was surrounded by police officers from the Honolulu Police Department. You see, what Sierra didn't realize was that she was no longer at the beach. Her car was parked in this residential area 7 miles from where she passed out. You see, her car did not only have a flat tire, it also had front end damage. You see, her car was involved in a hit and run accident that killed 2 young men who were fixing a flat tire on the side of the road. This is my niece. Woman 21 charged in a deadly Makaha hit and run. 21-year-old Sierra Burns remains in custody at an Oahu Correctional Facility in lieu of $750,000 in bail. My niece continues to be in jail. It's been over a year. Her trial is set in August. She's a good kid, made some bad choices. These are what she's being charged for. 2 counts of negligent homicide in the first degree. 2 counts of accident involving death or seriously bodily injury, failure to render aid. That means the car did not stop. 1 count of accident involving bodily injury. It's a total of 5 charges. Where if she's found guilty, she can get up to 40 years in prison. So you do the math. 21 plus 40, 60 plus years. Her story continues saying she doesn't remember that someone else drove the car. She doesn't remember she walked out. That is her defense. Well, obviously, the evidence says something else because charges were filed against her. This is my niece, and what I share with you today is the consequences of her decision, how it affects the rest of us. As I mentioned, our family is a prominent family in our community. We're very shameful, very embarrassed about what has happened. And yet I had nothing to do with that decision. I'm angry for what she has done to our family. There has been physical threats against our family. One of my cousins is a good friend of one of the victim's dad. So as you consider those choices, please understand that those are choices you are going to make, how it affects the rest of us. I am not proud to be standing in front of you as a family member of an accuser to tell this story. But it is important to be told because it is real. And last but not least, for as much pain and suffering as my niece has caused our own personal family, pain and suffering of these two young men, Daniel Bolett, age 23, and Jonah Ragsdale, age 21, lost their lives February of 2018 because of a decision that my niece had made. Please understand how decisions and what consequences come. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move into our final speaker today, who's going to be our principal, Dr. Alexis Burrell, if you find that you are emotionally compelled after Dr. Burrell speaks, any of those tip volunteers that waved their hand are expert grief counselors who are here to support you. Just grab one of them and take a few moments of their time. And now I'd like to introduce our principal for closing remarks and reflection, Dr. Alexis Burrell.
Thank you. You guys have been amazing. In closing, I want to thank our amazing student participants. Last night at the retreat, I had the honor to get to know each of you better and to give me a sense of the wonderful young adults that you truly are. I thank you for your commitment to the impact that today will make. To the parents, thank you for allowing your sons and daughters to take part in this special program and for raising incredible human beings. To the Every 15 Minutes committee members, the program took a whole team of effort to put on, and I'm forever grateful to all of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us bring this program to Centennial High School and for volunteering your time. To our Corona community, thank you for dedicating your time, money, and resources to making a lasting difference for our students. And last of all, thank you to our staff and student body. My hope today is that this program leaves a lasting impression that will stay with us for the rest of our lives. I believe what we've experienced together matters. When you leave here today, I beg that you will pledge to do everything in your power to keep this pain away from your friends, family, and from our community. The choice is yours. You have the power, as students and as adults, to be responsible citizens, because your decisions affect all of us. As we move into prom, graduation, and great celebration, I pray that you remember that what decisions you make, they matter to all of us. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for being part of this program. We love you all. And last but not least, this is a great family. Bond together. If you see somebody who needs some help or support at this time, please grab them. Let's support each other as a community. Thank you so much for being part of our Every 15 Minutes program.